What you do as soon as you get paid can determine whether you're broke and struggling a week later or actually moving towards building wealth. Most people spend blindly, then wonder where their money went a week later. I used to be the same, constantly living paycheck to paycheck. But I made a few simple changes and I was able to save and build over 100k even on a low income. In this video, I'm going to walk you through 8 things you need to do every time you get paid in the optimal order. This routine will help you take control of your finances, get ahead financially, and build wealth. Step 1. Calculate your financial foundation. Before you touch a single penny, you need to know your financial foundation. This is where most people slip up. They see money hit their account and they think, I have a lot of money in my account, so they start spending with no plan. And I get it, I've made this mistake too. But here's the thing, if you don't know what's left after your essential expenses, you'll always end up overspending and feeling broke. So to avoid continuously making this mistake, you need to understand your financial foundation. So how much does it cost to live each month? Think rent, mortgage, bills, food, transport, whatever you need to survive every month. To find this number, you can use your bank statements or a budgeting app to get your own numbers, or you can use a simple budget template, which I'll show you now. This template is super easy to use. So what you would do is you would come here and input your income, your paycheck, side hustle, whatever income sources you have, you would put it here. And then this is the area that you need to focus on, your essential expenses. So you'd list all of your expenses here and the actual. Now, what you want to pay attention to is the cash flow. See this number here, essential expenses? You want to pay attention to the percentage. You want to keep this number as low as possible. It should be no more than 60%. If this number is high, focus on cutting your biggest expenses first. According to the Office of National Statistics, the top 3 costs in the UK are housing, transport, and food. Yes, I know skipping the coffees and cancelling subscriptions are good, but to be honest, they're not going to make the biggest difference. So focus on the biggest 3 expenses. Ask yourself, can I downsize my home? Can I move to a cheaper area? If you live in a big city, can you move to the outskirts because that is usually cheaper? Switch to a smaller car. Do you need the latest fancy car? Do you need a 2-litre engine? Create more petrol expenses. Can you shop at cheaper grocery stores? The thing is, by keeping your living expenses low, you'll have more money to put towards building wealth. And I know it's not always easy, but the less it costs you to live, the more freedom you have to grow financially. So step 1, calculate your financial foundation. This will determine the rest of the steps. Now you can get a copy of this template for free in the description box below to work out your numbers. So step 2, build your backup fund. Building wealth isn't just about money, it's about discipline and habits. So once your essentials are covered, the first thing you need to do is pay yourself. This means building a small cash cushion for when life starts lifing. So imagine if you have an unexpected bill or your car breaks down. This literally happened to me a few weeks ago. My car broke down on the high road. It was actually embarrassing. But sometimes these expenses come out of nowhere. And if you don't have savings, you're more likely to turn to credit cards or loans to cover those costs. So having this cushion will give you peace of mind because when something happens, you won't need to panic because you'll have money set aside that you can tap into. So at this step, most people will tell you to focus on building your emergency fund. And I agree, you do want to get there eventually, and we will discuss that later on in the video. But at this point, don't worry about that, especially if you're on a low income. Just focus on saving your first £1,000, that's it. Don't stress about saving 3 to 6 months of expenses just yet. Listen, if you can only save £100 a month, that's £1,200 a year, and that already puts you ahead of most people. Because according to Bankrate, 56% of Americans can't cover a $1,000 emergency, and 21% have no savings at all. So while it may seem small, trust me, it's better than nothing. Now I would suggest using a high interest savings account that's easy to access because you want this money to be readily available and working for you. And if you can, use technology to automate it because you want to make saving feel effortless. Step 3. Debt is one of the biggest things holding people back from building wealth. It literally eats up your money before you even get to use it. So if you've got high interest debt like credit cards or payday loan, make it a priority to pay it off. Now I've been there myself before and it's horrible. So if you've accumulated debt, don't beat yourself up about it. Just focus on getting rid of it. So start by listing all of your debts and their interest rates, then choose a payoff method. You can use the avalanche method where you focus on paying off the debt with the highest interest first, or you can use the snowball method where you pay off the smallest debt first, and this gives you quick wins. Both methods are effective, but the avalanche method is the best route, and it will essentially save you money in the long run, because the quicker you pay it off, the less interest you'll have to pay back. But to be honest, just choose whichever method works best for you. The most important thing is that you're making progress. Now, some people will say that you should focus on paying off debt and not save anything at this point. But the thing is, life still happens. So I believe in doing both. To pay off debt, but you can also build a small cushion at the same time. This way you're removing obstacles to build wealth and protecting yourself from going backwards. Step 4, look for ways to increase your income. So at this point you might start to feel like your budget is a bit tight, especially if you're trying to put some savings away and you're paying off your debt. So let's talk about ways to increase your income. Now, the easiest way to do this is to ask for a raise. If you've been at your job for a while and you're showing up consistently, you deserve to be compensated for your hard work. But you can't just say, I want a raise because you think you deserve it. You've got to show your value. So think about where you've delivered results in your areas or made a big difference, and then gather all of that information and present it to your manager. And if a raise isn't an option right now, it might be time to move on. You'll be surprised, there are companies out there that will pay you more to do the exact same job. I've actually experienced this myself. You can also start a side hustle if you have the capacity, or if you have any unwanted, or you can sell any unwanted clothes or shoes online and make some extra cash. We've all got clothes or shoes we haven't worn in ages with the tag, or sometimes even with the tag still on them, or maybe you've outgrown the style. You can list them on eBay. It's super easy. I've even done it myself a few times. I've been guilty of buying clothes that I was going to wear and then it ended up sitting in the wardrobe with the price tags on it. Just sell it on eBay. It's a quick, easy way to make some extra cash. Another option is you could also learn high income skills to increase your earning potential. You can take on more responsibility at work to boost your value, or you can either offer services if you've got marketable skills like marketing or graphic design. You don't have to do anything wild. The goal here is to just create a little more breathing room in your budget so you can save and invest faster. Step 5. So now that you've freed up some money, let's build your full emergency fund. The goal is to build a nice cushion to cover 3 to 6 months worth of living expenses. So take the number that you calculated for your monthly essentials in step 1. So this is the number that you calculated here. And multiply it by 3 to 6 months. This is essentially your safety net. It will cover you if you lose your job or get hit with a big unexpected expense. Now, if you save about 3 months, that's a nice short-term cushion. If you calculate 6 months, that will literally give you real peace of mind. I've been made redundant a few times, and when I was made redundant, I didn't have any savings, so I actually have a 12-month emergency fund now. As much, 3 to 6 months is fine. Or if you work in a high-risk industry like tech, for example, then you might want to build a 9-month cushion for extra peace of mind. Step 6, put your money to work. So now it's time to start building real wealth. The first place to invest is your company pension. So because this is essentially free money for your retirement. The way this works is your employer will match the amount you contribute to your pensions up to a certain amount. So say if you contribute 4%, then they'll match it. That's double the money going towards your future. So here in the UK, you're auto-enrolled into the pension scheme. But if you're unsure about how any of this works, it's worth checking with HR and ask them what is your current contribution and ask them if you're maxing out the match. So the next step to put your money to work and actually build wealth is to invest in the stock market. I know it can feel scary, but I promise you it's not as complex as you may think it is. So the first step is to start by choosing a tax advantage account. So if you're in the UK, that's the Stocks and Shares ISA. If you're in the US, that's a Roth IRA. Then invest in index funds. They're low cost, diversified, and perfect for beginners. Even if you're on a low income, you can invest small amounts, even if it's just £50 or £100 a month. Trust me, it's still worth it. You can use a platform like Trading 212 to invest in fractional shares. Literally, you can invest as little as £1 and you can get a piece of companies like Google, Amazon and Apple. And they even have a high interest account, so you can earn 4.6% on your savings. So this might actually be a good place to put your backup fund. So when it comes to investing at this stage, one tip I will give you is to choose an amount that you can afford to invest each month and do it consistently. Whether that's, like I said, whether that's £50 or £100, because this way your money will grow from compound interest and capital gains over time, and you will also build the habit of investing, which is key. Step 7. So now that your financial foundation is strong, it's time to go bigger and focus on long-term wealth. So if you have any more low interest debts like student loans or even maybe a mortgage, now is a good time to focus on paying it off. If this doesn't apply to you, or if you don't want to pay off your mortgage, then you can put more money towards building wealth. So you can increase the amount that you invest in the stock market. You may also want to diversify your portfolio and acquire additional assets. You might even want to look at purchasing an investment property at this point. At this stage, you're not just surviving, you're building long-term wealth. So now that your financial foundation is solid, you can start enjoying your money guilt-free. What I will say is, if you don't have step 2 in place, or you're on step 3, then I would suggest skipping this step. It might sound harsh, but think of it as a temporary sacrifice for a long-term gain. However, if you have steps 4, 5 and 6 in place, you've covered all your bases and have set yourself up to build wealth, then you can enjoy your money. This is important because that way you can enjoy your money without sabotaging your goals. Because I feel like it's important to enjoy the fruits of your labour. It's not just about accumulating money. So I suggest allocating 10 to 20% of your income per fund, no more than 20%. Now, to be honest, when I was in the trenches trying to get my finances in order, I gave myself a £200 monthly allowance to spend on once. This included getting my nails done, dinner with friends, theatre, wherever it was. I had to make it work on £200 a month. So an easy way to do this is to just use a separate account for spending. Literally just put it in a separate bank account, because once it's in a separate account just for your fun spending, once it's gone, it's gone. And this will actually help you spend smarter and stay disciplined. And you'll start to find savvy ways to make your money stretch and ways to do more with less. So there you have it. This payday routine is literally how you build wealth, create good money habits, and get ahead financially. Don't forget to grab a copy of the free budget template in the description box below. Give this video a thumbs up if you found the information helpful, and if you have any questions about any of the steps, let me know in the comments below. Thank you for watching and have a good rest of your day.